Good day, Lord and ladies, and welcome back to Shadowrun Dragonfall. Now, in the last episode, we have the power back on. Well, we have some of the power back on, we've got no lights, so let's see if we can fix that. Nope, I was hoping that we could just fill with the fuse box again, but apparently we cannot. So let's proceed into the darkness. Reset breaker. What the? Ah, it's an ambush. How am I not surprised? Okay. Now, let's get to cover, shall we? Or we could just throw a grenade. Yeah, let's throw a grenade. Rip that armor to spread, which would be nice. You can get into cover. Ah, that sucked a lot. Into cover, please. Alas. They're going to probably throw a grenade at me and miss, which still does damage. Okay, now we had to get serious, all joking aside. We'll do target on him because he needs to die more than anybody else. Take him out. You missing axe is really bad for me. Push up here. Yeah, you're still up. The loss of AP is actually really bad. Okay, the bot's out of it. So, have to assume that enemies are going to be everywhere. Okay, unbalance him. And he's got a lot of cover. Not for long though. He's got a lot of armor. Okay, let's see if we can get some stuff that can get through him. Easier to hit. Let's try hit him with that. You suck. You continue to suck. Okay. He's in the open. Fantastic. And he's dead. So if you'd be so kind as to heal her. We'll go and grab the evidence. Miss an item, PDA. Okay. Encrypt PDA. Right, okay. So I now take it that we need to escape. Fantastic. Well, let's get on the door. I need to get more action points for my drone. Okay. Gotta wait 2 turns so all his spells and stuff are back up into order. I don't think anyone can get healed. No. Okay, so. Two more people in here. Right. 3 more people in here. Great to know. I can't hit anyone with that. You can see that person. Right, you're going to bum rush this person and tie them up. You're going to throw that there. I was hoping you'd be able to stun lock them. How does your gun look? This is not a good situation to be in, to be honest, but we're going to have to do what we can. Shoot them a couple of times. They're still up. Man, this sucks. Okay. Stun locked one of my guys. And we got a cleric. That's really bad. Okay. We need to shoot someone. Probably him. With the situation that we're in, we can't afford to miss. I need to heal myself. Used a very valuable item that I did not want to use. Get him. Okay. So she's back with 1 HP. So he can't heal either of those. Okay. Let's put action on her. Oh, he can only see her. Okay, that sucks. We'll get into cover. We'll get an aim increase on her. Can you see anyone? No, not where you're currently standing, so we need to get here. Okay. Render armor would be nice. Get here. And then we'll go... that. And you can start shooting this person in the face. Alright, get that person. Okay. We used some supplies I didn't want to have to use. Predominantly stuff like medical supplies. Let's get back on the train. Doesn't look like the train will be going anywhere with the excess bridge down. Okay. Retract the bridge. Let's go. The rest of the trip is home is uneventful, but one thing is clear, someone is hunting you. This ambush was no chance gang warfare, but an organised attempt on your life. If Green Winters was right, then whoever killed him is now after you. The PDA that you retrieved from your attackers may hold some answers. It is time to return to your safe house and consult Paul Amzell. Rightio. Right. How much money we got on us? 2 grand. We've got 11 karma to spend. Okay. Having more armor for the drone would be nice. Getting my int up would be also really pleasant as well. I'm going to get a charisma perks. I'm going to try and get the cybernetic upgrades to get that up. But I think I do need to get my ESP level up as well. Going to get my decking up first though. Mark 3, increase your chance to hit enemies by that. Yeah, that'd be nice. And then I will pick up drone combat. Get the AP bonus. The rest is okay. But get the AP bonus up. Okay. That's spent. My int is 7, yeah, so that's okay. Let's see if there's any new dialogue options. Right. Here's 10 new yen. Right, so he's got nothing more to say. Neither has he. Okay. Character level up. Right, now what we want to get. We can get Huntress, which is a biotech upgrade. Adds +1 movement passive when triggered. Use the usual dodge the first attack against them. Cost 1 APC. Not interested. Gain a customized range arms. Sharpshooter. Eager gain to customize ranger arms. Okay. Customized sniper rifle. Yeah, we'll go with that. For you, the radius of electro-core spell is increased by 1 tile. I'm going to do the 1 APC to cost, because it means he can move and then get into cover. Which is really nice for her. Auto-injection. Glory gains use for all your adrenaline pumps on a downed ally to receive them for 25% health. No, let's do the adrenaline pump. I haven't really used it that much. Or we can use adrenaline pumps down on a downed ally to revive them by 25%. Set a cooldown with a regular pump ability. No, get the enhanced one for that. And then what's the last one? So you can carry a large revolver, and carry a trauma level 3. Okay. Might get to the better revolver. And for him, what do we get? Decker. Yeah, just because there's probably going to be a mission where I'm going to have to take him along. Okay. No dialogue options for her. Some with Lucky Strike. Hey, I didn't mean to be rude, but this is my off time. She tends to spend it smoking, drinking myself into a stupor, not talking, so he waves her away. Right, come back later. Right, so she's I finished the dialogue options with her. Yeah, I burnt through a lot of supplies. Okay, let's turn in the mission anyway. We've got people to talk to as is. One look at this face enough to tell you that something is gnawing at him. He stands beside his table playing with his coffee spoon. What's going on, Bits? Well, Chief, I hate to admit it, but I might be in a little bit of trouble here. What sort of trouble? You say, well, you remember those creditors I told you about, the ones who loaned me all that money? Well, yeah, as it turns out, some of them are a little less forgiving than I thought they were. Keep talking. Well, one in particular seems to have taken things kind of personally. How personally are we talking here? I got a packet in the mail, it had somebody's thumb in it. Thumbs? Well, thumbs, they came in a cigar box, packed and sealed. I have no idea who they belong to. I am pretty sure they are meant to convey some sort of message. Really? You think so, you say? He nods gravely. Yeah, I'm almost certain of it. I was being sarcastic with that comment, I should say. I don't want to lose my thumbs, Chief. I like my thumbs. I think I need to pay this guy back. Luckily, I've got a plan. I know how to get myself out of the hot water with the meat grinder. I've got it all specced up out. Let me get this straight. You took a loan from somebody named Meat Grinder? Hey, Chief, come on. I feel really bad enough about this already. There's no need to rub it in. Anyway, like I was saying, I can make it all right again, but I need you to help me do it. I'm listening. Well, there's this group out in Dragonfall. They call themselves the Landenberg Ring. They're a financial crime organisation. There's a lot of bad blood between them and the meat grinder operation. Anyway, back when I was running with the Scarwerzer Heisen, I laid out the groundwork for a hit on the Landberg Ring. I was never able to make good on it, though for some reason none of the other gangers ever volunteered to help out. With your help, I could steal enough money from them to cover my debts and get myself back into the meat grinder's good graces into the process. So what do you think? Quick run, just you and me, with me in the Matrix and you as the woman on the ground. We hit them, satisfy my debt, and laugh about it on our way back home. Sound like a plan? I might be interested, depending on the cut of your profits, that is. Alright, Blitz, but in the future you need to be more upfront with me about things like this. Might be interested, depending on the cut of the profits, that is. Chief, there won't be any profit, at least not for us. The money that we suck out of that places has to go to the meat grinder, all of it. Well, then you can find yourself another partner, nothing personal, but I don't stick my neck out unless I'm getting paid, you say. Oh, come on, Chief. As if I never stuck my neck out for you. Hell, that's all I've been doing since I got here. This is the thanks I get. Alright, calm down. If this would get the meat grinder off your back, I'll help you with it, you say. Yeah, because I don't want him running off and telling people what we're doing. Alright, thanks, Chief. Well, you're right, I do. Now, if you excuse me, I got some last-minute stuff to take care of before we get started. Null sweat, Blitz. Meet you at the U-Bahn? No, not as such, Chief. I won't physically going to Dragonkipper. You've seen enough of that place for a lifetime. I'll be jacking in from a terminal I set up here in the bazaar. Ho ho ho, wait, no way, I'm not... If you want my help, you had to come with me. I'm not risking my neck for you on my own. Oh, come on, Chief, they won't be on your own. I'll be in the Matrix helping right alongside you. Besides which, you'll be better off without having to look after my meaty body. If it came in person, I'll be a liability. Trust me on this. You want me here, safe and sound, so that you can be free to do whatever without having to worry about my body catching a stray bullet. Alright, Blitz, we do it your way. I'll send you a comm and go to Kipper. Dragon Kipper. I don't like this. I am not a... I'm a little busy right now, Chief. Thanks again. You bet your ass I am. You owe me, Blitz, and don't you forget it. Don't really want... Right. Seriously, we had to go on our own for that one. I need to get the supplies then. Right, let's pet the dog. The dog is happy. Let's totally ditch it. Any thoughts about the last run would you like to share? Hell of a thing, wasn't it? That run made me glad that I didn't have to spend a lot of time in hospitals. I'll tell you that much. There wasn't a single aspect of that building that didn't make me feel uneasy. He pauses for a moment and looks you in the eyes. Kind of a pity putting the rigor out on ice like that. At least we could have done was hear him out. I get the job as a job and all, but our client really did screw him over. He deserved better than getting burned for it. He shrugs. Guess we'll never know. Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. It's going to take some time. Have you heard of an organisation called the Lodge? Lodge, he freezes up. Oh, boss, do you mean the Black Lodge? I don't know, maybe. Lodge was all that I heard. Let me describe them to you, and you can tell me if that's what I'm saying fits. Shadowy, powerful, secretive as hell, with deep pockets and a penchant for hiding the truth. They conduct all their businesses through dupes and go-betweens. He gives you a sideways glance. Does that sound about right? That's them in a nutshell, yes. Well, if it's them, and whatever you're talking about, I ain't saying it is, then I advise you to stay away from them. Stay far, far away, whatever you do. Don't take their money if you do, they'll own you. I take it they're dangerous then. More than you could know. Most folks don't even believe they exist, but being a Saman in Berlin has its perks. I've seen enough evidence to believe it. Tell me what you've heard. Well, the story is that the Black Lodge is the mother of all conspiracies. Supposedly they've been around for hundreds of years, and they've been practicing magic since well before the Awakening. Impossible, I know, but I believe it. Have you ever heard of the Masons, the Knights Templar, the Bolivri, the Illuminati? They were all puppets of the Black Lodge. None of them knew who they were working for, but the Lodge was there, putting the strings. They've always been, and they still are. That's the story. Didn't realise you were a conspiracy theorist, Dittrich? I ain't, but I've been around long enough to know that I shouldn't trust my gut in telling me that the Black Lodge is real. Your mileage may vary, of course, but believe whatever you want. You already know what I think. I was thinking about what you told me earlier. You said that your idol was going to make you pick a fight that you couldn't win. He shrugs. It's bound to happen eventually, probably sooner rather than later. Isn't there something that you can do to stop that from happening? Well, I suppose I could refuse. That probably wouldn't be a good idea, especially not now. Remember, boss, the Dragon Slayer is where my magic comes from. If I turn away from him, you'll better believe that he'll turn away from me. Besides which, I don't know if I can refuse him anymore. He's been with me for so long, I don't know where he stops and I begin. He grins at you. Don't worry about me, boss. I know that this was coming for my entire life, and when it happens, I'll go down in a blaze of glory, the likes of which you can't even imagine. That's the promise. What if you were to pick a fight with a different kind of dragon, say maybe a gang or corporation? He paused for a moment. That's an interesting idea. If it was big enough and heinous enough, he might be satisfied. I've never tried to bargain or negotiate with the Dragon Slayer before. I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I don't know how he'd take it either. But Dragon Slayer doesn't like to be questioned, and his temper even shorter than mine. But I tell you what, boss, I'll think about it. You can't really believe your idol wants you to commit suicide. Of course not. Dragon Slayer doesn't want me to die, but he does want me to fight to kill dragons. That ain't supposed to be safe or easy. This isn't my idea's fault, but I'm getting too old to keep up with his wishes. Right, so he's done. What do you think about the last run? Shrugs. It was a nice change of pace, simple job with straightforward objective. At the end of the day, the whole thing was pretty by the numbers. The rigger died, we got paid, everything went home happy. That's a win in my books. Do you trust me, Iger? She pauses for a moment, considering. Finally she nods. Yes, I do. You've earned that much. I haven't always agreed with your decisions, Black Knight, but you've proven your competence, if only fair for me to acknowledge it. Then tell me what happened to your team, you say. This again, why do you even care? Because it's pretty clear that if you had your way, you'd still be with them, and a good leader places a priority on knowing her team. Let's go with that one. She nods, slowly nods. All right, I tell you, I suppose you deserve to know. What happened to us was Hoffman. He was a rookie. The kid was some big money corporate ex. He looked good on paper and made it through KSK training, so he was technically qualified to join our team, but he was way too green to fit in with ours. Still, he wanted to be a hero, and his family had enough clout to get him an assignment on of his choosing. I don't know how many strings Hoffman Daddy had to pull to get him assigned to our team, but he pulled them. Hoffman became our 9th squad mate despite Metzger's objections. Anyway, fast forward a few weeks, we were closing in on one of the Russian mob's major trafficking operations. We'd been using a series of warehouses 50 miles from the border as a staging area for their convoys. Women and girls from Eastern Europe were being housed there. When the corvée came, they would be crammed into car containers and hauled across the border into Germany. Go to any brothel along the border and you have a look around. Chances are you'll find at least a few girls who spent some time in those warehouses. Slovakians, Hungarians, and Poles, you name it, the mob had been smuggling them in for decades. But we were in a position to derail the operation, and we weren't going to let our new additions slow us down. We hit them by surprise, and we hit them hard. Fisker and Bruno managed to take down the band C that was patrolling the site. Woofer had reconnaissance drones overhead providing metal tech feeds for the rest of us, and we picked off their gunmen one by one. They had numbers on us, but they didn't know where to hit us. We had eyes in the sky, and we were covered in concealment. Every time they thought they had a fix on us, we shift position and hit them, but it might as well have been fighting ghosts. Then Hoffman broke cover and gave away our position. After that, all hell broke loose. Wolf went down first. The sound of it will haunt me for the rest of my days. An explosion, a choked scream, and then the last long drawn-out gurgling sound. When he died, his drones went down with him, and there were too many hostiles to track without them. I'll spare you the gory details, Black Knight. Suffice to say, my team was wiped out. Her face clouds again. You can see tears beginning to well in her eyes. I watched Metzig die. With visible effort, she clamped down on her emotions and calms herself, and she speaks again. Her voice is flat. I took 3 rounds myself, had to drag myself back across Old Nasir line into Germany. I almost died. So that's my story. My KSK career died with the rest of my team. Our mission was illegal after all, off the books. There was no going back for me, so I wound up here. She looks you in the eye, her tone impassive. Did you tell you everything you wanted to know? A fearless leader, are you satisfied now? Yes, thank you, Iger. So tell me, what's your takeaway from my tale of woe? I figure that you've got to have one. When Monica died, you blamed me because I was new to the team, but I'm not Hoffman, Iger. You hung up on the past, Iger. If you want to survive in Salas, you need to get over it. It doesn't matter what I think, what you think and how you act on it is important. Let's go. When Monica died, you blamed me because I was new to the team, but I'm not Hoffman, Iger. Yeah, she nods. I know that. And you're right, to a point I might have judged you too harshly because of Hoffman, but everything else that I said was justified. Given command of your team was a bit of a hasty decision made for the wrong reasons, I stand by that assessment. But between then and now, I've been watching you like a hawk, and you've grown, Black Knight. You weren't the right choice to lead before, I still believe that, but you are now. Thank you, Iger. Until next time. Right, let's get the data on the web to sell. Free unread messages. Okay. Post pay data for sale. Post research data. Okay. Keywords. Massacre at the schoolhouse. Really tense and grabbing headline, right? That's how the local news have been spinning it. Truth is, the schoolhouse was abandoned years ago and was being used as a humanist recruitment and training complex. You're kidding me. A friend of mine was going there after class and he said it was just a community centre. I know none of you are fans of humanists, but that entire chapter house got wiped clean. there were probably some kids there off the streets who were just looking for hot meals. Skew humanists were exploiting them, they didn't deserve death. Good riddance to those assholes, streets are a little safer now that they're all buried. Went trolling on the humanist board and that place was totally wiped out. Volkir Sak was in charge of that chapter house, good riddance to that piece of dreck. Yeah, just got offered a job to geek one of the humanist lieutenants. Seems like Stahl is dead and the power struggle is already underway. You're taking the job? Not my kind of work, but I gave the Johnson an address to one of your tricks dead drops. Cheers, mate. Just finished up drinking with Chummer, who was doing some biz up there. Real story is humanists did not want to pay for services rendered, and some hired muscle went crazy and took them all out. So the muscle decided taking the whole place down would get the new yuan back. Well, that's one way to make a living, I guess. This is our operation, by the way. Even if your friend did get screwed out for a bit of new yen, I don't think humanists would be worth the bullets, especially that many of them. Yeah, that's us. Save the Free State. The time rise up against the corporation is now. Fight for the free Berlin. You just fall out of a time warp, the war is over and we won. Hard to imagine Berlin any freer. Maybe you just need to switch to decaf. As long as any corporation active anywhere in the Free State, we are at risk. We must act. Neo-revolutionary alpha. Corps are good for business and keep in their little corners. Why do you think we would help you? How naive you think they will stay there forever. Don't you see that they're taking the freedom we'll all hold so dear? Plans are being made across the F-State. With the Shadow community on your side, we shall prevail. The Free State has its own dealings with those who step out of line. Take your politics somewhere else, around here. We've got bills to pay. Running on SK. Skinny, what a thrill. Had to do a simple data steal on SK branch office. Turned into an OK corral suit out. Never seen first response teams arrive that fast in my life. Had a deco on site running damage control. Managed to distract a second team to a different building while we jacked the car and the first team came in. Lesson learned, simple when it comes to SK means something else. You stole the corpse response vehicle. Don't they have trackers on those things? Of course they do. Dumped it off the side of the road with a primed grenade in the back seat just to be safe. Nice one. Bragging about a nearly failed run out on SK, it is worth them paying a decker to backtrack your Shadow account. Any idea what valuable data they were hiding in the branch office? No idea. Money was too good to take any chance with it. Safety delivered and transferred, cleared. Okay, so we've got 3 messages. Check inbox for new messages. Salvaged DVD. The screen flickers to life. Miller's face appears from the sifting background ambient noise. It's clear that the message recorded in a portable device. Hey Black Knight, just wanted to tell you that I've met with limited success in working on that stack of DVDs. It's a thorny problem, but at least I'm making some headway. If you're looking at the table beside your DVD player, you will find another recovered disc. I wasn't able to salvage all of the files on it, but I think you might find what I did recover to be interesting. For my part, I'm going to continue working on the other DVDs. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't hold out much hope, though. They're all badly damaged, suffering from disc rot besides. I'll be in touch. My best to you and your team. Okay. Still alive. Jane to Black Knight. I guess I think I should thank you. You got me out of that horrible job alive. I don't think I could have made it in it on my own. What happened on that run took everything else away from me, but at least I'm still breathing. The Lodge turned me into a killer Black Knight. Bat gnaws at my guts every minute of every day, and I still can't sleep at night. Innocent people, normal people died because of what I did. And you know why they made me do it? Because they could. I don't know, maybe it doesn't bother you. You're a Shadowrunner after all, you killed people all the time. Just another day at the office, huh? Well, I'm not like you, I can't kill people on the job and forget about it the next day. This is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't know how to live like this, but it's still better than not living. That's what I keep telling myself, and so I figured that I might as well tell you too. Recovery. Silk, Black Knight to Black Knight. This is Silk from the hotel. I hope it's okay, but I'm writing to you. Samuel gave me your address. Anyway, just wanted to thank you for everything that you did for me. Kicking the cram habit was the hardest thing I've ever done, and I don't think I would have tried if you hadn't talked me into it. To celebrate my new sign sobriety, I've decided to sign on to volunteer at a charity. You know, who knows? Maybe giving back to community will help turn things around in my life. Anyway, thanks again, Black Knight. I owe you one. Right. No new messages. Alright, claim payment from the Pharaoh cleanup job. Okay. Excellent job, Black Knight. You have credit to your professor and I would hesitate to hire you again. Your fee will be transferred to your account. A moment later, second message pops up from your inbox. Payment details. Payment made. Client deducted for crew salary. Amount of missing supply costs. Automatic deduction for the Alice Fund. Rightio. Reminder sent to Black Knight account. Okay. Claim payment through the Humanist data steal. Your job is finished and you wait your client's response. A few minutes later, the message pops up on the screen. Here's your payment as promised. A moment later, second pops up. Okay. 2,200 or 22,000. 6,000 of it went to crew salaries. 1,500 went to ammunition and resupply costs. 11,000 went to the fund. Reminder sent to the Black Knight account. View all pending and active jobs. Pending. Make-if prototype abstraction. Elmer's face went on the screen. Black Knight, here you find a complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Smid. Potential client, you will see the details of the job and a bit of more vague than I would like, but the payout was quite substantial. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond to the affirmative, our client will be notified, and I will make a necessary preparations for the run. One other thing, Herr Smith provided me with a device to assist you on the run. It's called a little black box. Apparently it can be used to compromise the power and security systems of the run site. If you opt to take the job, be sure to take it with you. Amsel's image flickers and winks away. Moments later, a glowing blue text field begins to scroll from the bottom of the screen. Guest, greetings, Herr Hamsel. I trust that this connection is secure. Naturally. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? Call me Herr Smith. Well, very well, Herr Smith. You have something of business for me. Indeed, I have a job for your team, a simple matter. Judging from what I've heard of your team, I imagine they will be well suited for the task. Go on. The interest that I represent have learned that AG Chemical Europa is working on a company-wide project, something very secretive, very new. Reliable sources inform me that they're keeping a working prototype of this new venture at their Berlin facility. I see, and your employers wish for us to acquire this prototype for them, naturally. What is the project? If you want my team to grab the prototype for you, they need to know what they're looking for. I'm not at liberty to say. I can tell you that the prototype has been branded MK6. I can also tell you what your team will find on the 20. I can also tell you that your team will find on the 25th floor of the Berlin facility, in the office of one Aldrich Hosfer. Further, I can assist your team in disabling the building security and gaining access to the 24th floor. From there, however, they will be on your own. Such vagueness can be dangerous, Herr Smith. I will not commit my team to run without better understanding what the job entails. Facing such dangers is the purpose of Shadowrunners, Herr Amsel. Your team will be rewarded handsomely for their services. My employers have set aside 20,000 yuan for the job, considering hazard pay, if you wish. Make it 25,000 yuan or look somewhere else. 22.5, final offer. Very well, I will pass your offer on to my team. Are there any further details you can provide? Hofsherr's office will be locked behind a vault door. The lock is old-fashioned of mechanical variety. It will provide your team with a copy of the key. I will also supply you with a little black box, a solid-state device your team can use to override a variety of the building systems. Your team will enter through the facility's underground garage. When your team has acquired the MK6, have them exit through the same garage. I will have my van there waiting to extract them. Thank you, Herr Smith. I will pass my offer to the team. Good day, sir. Yeah, let's take it. Okay. How goes... Let's look at the Alice Fund. Check the status of the Alice Fund. About halfway. How much money do we have? 8k. Right, we need to buy some stuff, really. Some upgrades would be nice. Because I need to take this out of my head and put it either in my eye or my arm. probably my arm, get the charisma stuff put in. Right. It's all going to cost cash. Let's talk to Glory. Glory, pale as face, lights up as you approach, so can you even smile and spit across her face. Black Knight, good to see you. Any thoughts about the last run? There's as much to say. She pauses to study you for a moment before continuing. I think we should have given Ford a chance to prove his claims. Waiting a few minutes to kill him wouldn't have harmed anything. That said, I understand why you did what you did. The job was to kill him. We all knew what we signed on. She shrugs. One step closer to paying Alice's fee in the end, that's all that really matters. You too, Gloria. How are things with you? She pauses for a moment, considering, you know what? I'm happy, actually. For the first time in a long time, I think I have that to thank for that. You ready to tell me about the chrome you're sporting? Be patient, Black Knight. The explanation for that is coming. A look of unease filters across her face. I'm not sure you're going to like it, though. You needed time, and I gave you time. Are you ready to talk about Thirster yet? Yeah, her Glory looks troubled, more so than you've ever seen her before. Whatever memories she's dragging up must be excruciatingly painful. I'm not going to lie, I haven't been looking forward to this, but yeah, it's time. Black Knight, look, I'm about to tell you some things about myself that might change your opinion of me. It's entirely possible that you're going to hate me based on what's coming next. I've accepted that, and if that's what happens, I still believe I deserve it. She looks you in your eyes, her expressing grief. So tell me, are you sure that you want to keep pushing forward with this? This is important for you, Glory. After everything we've been through, I think we both know that. Whatever you have to tell me, I'm ready to listen. Or we can go spit it out already. Yeah, let's go with this. Let's go with it important for you, Glory. Thank you, Black Knight. Thanks for being a friend. So when we left off last time, I just moved from the streets of Tübingen to a warm, inviting confines of Thirstel. Marta and I were happy there for a little while, and Harrow embraced me as a long-lost daughter. I should probably take a moment to talk about how Harrow, he's going to be an important figure in this story. I don't know what age he was. He seemed old enough to be paternal, but young enough to hang with the kids of something like a peer level. Best guess he was in his mid-20s. He was handsome, well-built, and neatly trimmed beard and thick brown hair. And there was something else about him, something uncanny. Harrow had his charisma, his raw, magnetic attractions that made people latch onto him. He's going to be a psychopath, isn't he? Like, he had the charisma, the raw magnetic attraction. These are hallmarks of someone who can. It's just ironic because psychopaths aren't really. It's a broad definition, but like having this attraction that people have, and like a lot of psychopaths in history have had this kind of magnetic appeal to them. Like even like people that we would count as psychopaths now who were in powers of authority. I saw it over and over. All it took was a few words and a pat on the shoulder, and Harrow would have a new convert. The other kids at the farm followed him around like lost puppies. As much as I loved Marta, and as much as I thought she loved me, we forgot all about one another when Harrow was around. All that we wanted was to be close to him, to be part of his inner circle. Yeah, this is basically a cult, and soon enough we were. For a girl of 17, it was all terribly exciting. Harrow had those rules of living that he would teach us, rules about self-determination and the importance of disobedience. He claimed to have taught classes at the University of Berlin, which he painted as a mix between earthly paradise and anarchic playground. He told us that Volstel would be a focal point of a new movement for the children of the fatherland. He told us that we were special. We ate it up, of course. We were kids. For those of us in the inner sanctum, Harrow would say even more. He had power, the likes of which I had never seen. Not my father's drunken fists or my own childish experiments, but genuine, incredible power. He said that it had come from the horned god, an ancient deity that he venerated. He knew about my latent abilities right away, and he offered to teach me. Naturally, I accepted. I've heard about the horned god. His followers have a bad reputation, especially among women. This Harrow leader sounds like a cult leader. Let's go. I heard about the horned god. His followers have a bad reputation, especially among women. Any bad reputation they might have gained is well deserved, but that's more to it than that, as you'll see. Glory sighs. Hang with me, Black Knight. Rough waters ahead. So I became Harrow's apprentice. He taught me to channel magic and summon spirit. He taught me rituals and pagan traditions, Machiavellian philosophy, and Nietzschean ethics. Above all, he taught me to connect with his horned god, and through it I learned power and arrogance, and it was all a downhill from there. For the next few years I lived at full still at Harrow's enforcer and right-hand girl. I was also his sometime wife and concubine, but that was distinction that I shared with all the girls in the commune, including my beloved Marta. I came to learn that she'd been his long before she met me, but by that point I didn't care. I'd embraced the rules of living. I was Harrow's creature through and through. I didn't ask questions, I walked a path that was in front of me. Other fun facts about the years I learned cruelty: I had power now, and my new ideal encouraged me to use it. Harrow did the same. Any children who didn't pull their weight were subjected to my tender mercies. I was anything but tender. I took what I wanted rather than ask for it. I liked it, it was fun. I also came to learn of Harrow's horned god was not the Ephesus worshipped by throwback cults across Germany. It was a certain god with horns, but it came from an altogether different tradition. Care to hazard a guess? The devil, you say? In the magical active community, we refer to it as the adversary. But yeah, the same being more or less. My idol, the ancient deity that was feeding me my power, was the antithesis of everything that was right and good. You know what? I didn't care. So yeah, it's basically a satanic cult. In our time together, Harrow and I committed more atrocities than I could count. At this point, I was onto all of his tricks. I knew that Volstella was nothing more than a honey trap, carefully designed to lure local children into my master's clutches. I knew that the kids who seemed resistant to Harrow's brainwashing technique wound up fertilizing the garden. I knew that Harrow's entire manifesto was bullshit, and I knew through it all, Harrow and the advisor were laughing because I was laughing right there beside them. I didn't want to pin the blame for my decisions on anyone but me. That said, I would like to persist that my father's connections to Kreis Ritzer might have helped play into my willingness to serve the advisory. In my warped, indoctrinated little brain, I equated the Church with evil, so the opposite of that I figured had to be, well, if not good, at least not totally bad. But I was kidding myself, of course. My new deity was very different definition of bad. Serving it made me bad. End of story. I can't excuse the choice that you made, but I can understand why you made them. Go ahead and make your excuses. We all make our own choices in life, and when your choice to hurt innocent kids, my sympathy for you went right out the window. And I can't excuse the choice that you've made, but I can understand why you made them. Yeah. I mean, like, they say that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and though I don't agree with a lot of stuff, like, I'm tempted to press this middle button here. It's like, I can't excuse the choice you've made, but I can understand why you made them. Yeah, because I see where she's coming from. Normally, people that from one extreme tend to go into the other, which is why in like traditions and folklore, when an angel falls, like, if out of all the creatures of hell in folklore, fallen angels are actually supposed to be the worst because they fall from the highest perch, as it were, theoretically speaking, or theosophically speaking. A fallen angel is normally the worst because they fall from such a high extreme and they go into the opposite direction. I can't excuse the choice you made, but I can understand why you made them. That's big for you, Black Knight. I genuinely mean that. Glory takes a moment to steel herself and then continue on. Anyway, one day Harrow invited me on a field trip to Stuttgart. Over the years that I was in Falstaff, the commune had easily doubled in size. It was thrilling, all thanks to the effects that Marta and the girls like her. Harrow would send the girls out to neighbouring cities to lure in street kids that nobody would miss. He targeted children because they were easy to indoctrinate and because nothing makes the adversary happier than the corruption of the innocent. As we drove out to pick up the new recruits, I was already planning ahead. It was a foregone conclusion that I would pay my father a visit. The irony of a group of Chris Ritzer getting immolated by a genuine servant of the axe devil tickled me no end. So when Harrow stopped to fill up on diesel, I hopped out the van and headed out on foot to my parents' place. Harrow wasn't overly concerned about my absence. I had long since reached the point where I could assert my autonomy, and he knew that I would be back. I wound up my folks' house sometime around noon. I could hear the advisor whispering in my ear, telling me what to do. I had long since learned to listen to its voice. It always rewarded me with extra power when I did its bidding. It told me to knock, so I did. As the door opened, I could feel a torrent of flames welling up in the astral plane all around me. It told me to channel them into the doorway into my father, and so I did. But of course, the person opening the door wasn't my father, it was my mother. As I watched her flesh blacken and melt, as I heard her scream and broke into hysterics, I heard the adversary laughing, and at the moment I realised I was laughing at me. that it was laughing at me. I am so sorry, Gloria. Gloria nods, grim expression on her delicate face. Thanks. We're almost at the end now. Thanks for sticking with me. It was like a lever had been pulled all at once. The bubbles opened. I wasn't the powerful servant of the adversary. I was not Harrow's #1 god. I was a ridiculous little fool who was willingly tied a soul to the worst thing in existence. Realizing all this was one thing, actually fixing it was something else entirely. I knew that I had to get away from Harrow. That was the first thing to do, so I bit my lip and did my best to ignore the happy bubble of new recruits on the trip back to Full Still. I managed to go through the ride without screaming. Once we were back in the commune, I broke into Harrow's safe, stole all my commune's resources, and ran. I didn't know when Harrow realised what I'd done, or when he'd even I didn't know when Harrow realised what I'd done, or whatever he ever even cared. All that I know is that nobody came after me, so I kept running and running until I got to Berlin. Getting past the wall was simple, fairly simple. You know how easy it is to obtain falsified papers. Biggest obstacle that I faced during my flight was the adversary himself. I could outrun Harrow, but I didn't. But how do you run from something that's tied to your soul? I have a feeling I know how. I have a feeling that I know. Let me guess. Snip, snip. Oh God, Glory. I have a feeling that I know. The haunted look on eyes are heartbreaking. She gives you another curt, grim nod. I walked into an office of the first street doc I could find, pointed at all the biggest, bulkiest pieces of cyberware that he had on display and told him to put them into me. He tried to upsell me on a better merchandise, arguing that I was asking for old and ineffective, better suited to be installed into a museum than in a body. He told me that I was shredding my essence, and that once it was gone I'd never be getting it back. I stuck to my guns. After all, shredding my essence was the whole point. Glory looks up at you, her eyes are sunken and hollow, and the aura of loss about her is palpable. She looks like a woman who had been through hell. That's all for now, Black Knight. You've heard the tale. You know why I'm where I am. Now you know the things I've done and how much I have to atone for. You are still my companion, fine. If I lost your friendship, I understand that too. But for now, I need to be alone. Oh boy. I sympathise her with a great deal, but there's like I said, some things you can't really forgive. We've got to put a cut in here. Whoa, that was a grim episode. I've been Cornish-knight. This has been Shadowrun Dragonfall, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.